Okay, there we go.
Nation states based on those things.
There we go.
The writings of Vladimir Lenin, they don't just talk about this is what we believe in, they talk about this is why it'll be adhered to. Pol Pot, Mao Tse-tung, the Little Red Book, need I say more? There's a reason why these things have been done that way. Because they understood how it would change the human, that the goal wasn't simply to, the goal was not to enslave people, but to control them. Well, Jason, what exactly do you mean by control? To have a reliable response. Let me say it again. The goal is to engineer a reliable response. Well, Jason, why not? Why don't they just keep you in shackles? Shackles are expensive. Shackles can be defeated. Prisons are expensive. Prisons can be defeated. If we're going to go through the work of erecting shackles in a prison, the most cost-effective, efficient prison is the one around your mind. So if I can engineer and navigate a controllable, reliable response, that's the true sweet spot. I don't have to worry about a revolution from someone who sees themselves as a member of my family. He would never raise his hand against me any more than he would raise his hand against his mother.
Right.
So I don't need shackles on him. He sees himself as part of my family. I have no fear of that occurring. I've convinced him. And now, nothing you say, Church of Black Power, is going to move him because we've engineered a reliable response.
Exactly.
If we can do this in an individual, if we can do this in a family, if we can do this in a group, we can do this across a nation. Which has been, if you take a look at the last 200 plus years of their writings, you see a steady stream of that. It is never enough to simply make a machination for an individual. It always circles back to how can you use this for nations of people. Now that ain't accidental. Everywhere you go in European culture, there's an equivalent to that. That's not an accident. That's a culture. This is a global strategy. When you take a look at Japan and their anime and got blonde characters, the hallmark of Japanese anime is very large eyes. For people with elliptical folds, and yet their artwork depicts themselves as exactly the opposite of the biological fact.
Absolutely.
Now, Jason, you lying. Am I lying? If you take a look at Japanese artwork, oh damn, did I just debunk you? Show me Japanese feudal artwork that looks like their manga and their anime. Show it to me. Because I can show you their feudal artwork and show you their paintings of their emperors and their women and their geishas. Well, it don't look like manga and anime. There's nothing that looks like manga and anime in Japanese artwork until after 1950.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll be damned. Did something happen around 1950? Well, about 5 years earlier, actually, a whole lot happened. About 5 years earlier, a whole lot happened.
There's somebody in this room.
Well, what do you know? People, there's a reason that these other programs would never have me on to debate this or argue with this. It's going to be a very short evening. They're going to bring on some dummy who don't know nothing. It's going to be a very short evening. Critical thinking skills are very, very clear and very, very necessary. But by the way, if anybody wants to sit up here and tell you, oh, that's just what they came up with, some white supremacists will try to pass it off on you. Very simple test. By the way, why is it never appeared before you showed up? They got artwork going back hundreds of years. It looks nothing like what happened before you showed up. Now, if this is just their natural artwork, why isn't it nothing look like you before you showed up? They had a whole different thing. Show me the blonde people and the big-eyed people in Japanese artwork before 1950. Yikes. Well, I think I just found your Pavlovian response there, too. I think I just found it there, too.
Absolutely.
So we don't have to drop any more. Oh, y'all don't want me saying all this, right? And Jason, damn it, this is going to give y'all nightmares. You're going to have trouble getting to sleep. You're going to be fighting in your head, trying to argue with it. You're going to drive yourself insane. The migraines are going to get to your brain, trying to argue that it's not accurate. We don't have to drop any more atomic bombs on you. Why they desire to be one of us, why would we drop bombs on you? That's unnecessary. Why they're coloring their hair and redoing their eyes, why they want to be one of us. War is now unnecessary.
Right.
We've conquered the most important battlefield of all, the one between your ears. And oh yeah, one more thing, you will fight to the death. If anybody tries to tell you stop doing it, you'll start arguing with them. The Japanese folk will be the biggest ones arguing with you about the legitimacy of their manga. They'll be the first ones to argue about that. They're still a little salty about Okinawa and the military bases. They're still a little salty about that. But when it comes to the culture, it's a whole different thing. To the point that now Japanese men's biggest complaints is that Japanese women have disrespect for Japanese men. What? Doesn't that sound familiar, by the way? Doesn't that sound familiar, brother? Now, don't that sound familiar?
Respect for black men.
Now, you don't hear anybody saying that Asian women have disrespecting the problem with white men. When you go to Asia, when you go to the Middle East, when you go to Africa, ain't nobody talking about folk got a problem with the white men. And yet, well, I'll be damned. I can show you place after place where the men are complaining that the women have adopted a disdain for their own men. Not the white men walking around here, just the native men here. Just us. Well, I think I just found another reliable response.
Jason.
Brother, we would be any place they touch ground. We ain't got enough hours in the year for me to. If I made a miniseries, it'd have to be 365 chapters because it would take me about a year or two to go ahead and walk y'all through all of this. And I'm just giving you the cliff notes tonight, and not a single word I've said can be argued with. It is absolutely empirical, undeniable, irrefutable proof and truth, and everybody knows it. So yeah, that's what it is. Somebody in the chat room said the best: 5% of the global population, 99% impact. Better believe it.
It might be 720 chapters, to be honest with you.
We might have to spend some more. So, brother, that was the whole goal. They have been on a crusade now that has covered centuries of how do we manipulate and pacify the mind of man. That no matter who these people are we encounter, how do we plug them into the same system and get the same reliable response? Whether it is under monarchy, whether it is under mercantilism, whether it is under capitalism, whether it is under socialism. It doesn't matter what the so-called economic system is. As long as you have white supremacy, they don't care what the system is. Doesn't matter what you call the system, as long as it's white supremacy is dominated. And controlling the mind of man and your responses, you have book after book after book after book, year after year. It continues to this day. It continues to this day. I'm a fan. I'm about to say something's going to upset a lot of people here. I'm a fan of Robert Greene. I've read all of Robert Greene's work. I've read all of Robert Greene's work. Laws of Power, Seduction, Mastery. I've read all of Robert Greene's work. I think it's well worth anybody checking out. I certainly do. Robert Greene has studied Malcolm X. He studied MLK. He studied Huey Newton. He studied everybody. He studied. He certainly has. Remember, he wrote a book with 50 Cent, The 50th Law.
Yeah.
Robert Greene has studied our people. I've read all of Robert Greene's work. Robert Greene's work is calibrated toward nations. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I throw that in there? By the way, couldn't help but notice, hey, this can be adopted and calibrated toward nations. When you read his books and the examples he gives, he's talking about heads of state, kings, presidents, generals. Well, this is something that can be directly applied toward nation states. Whole nations of people. Machiavelli's The Prince. Now, let me clear that part up right there. That's a little bit different. And Robert Greene has talked about that too, by the way. Which he's talked about that too. It used to be that things like The Prince, the writings of Napoleon, Sun Tzu's Art of War, that was restricted to only the aristocracy. The common could not be made aware of the strategy of Art of War or The Prince. That was only for the aristocracy. The Prince was literally written for who? The Prince. Hey, nigga, this for your eyes only. I don't give a damn how good the bedmaid is. Don't tell her this. Because, as the saying goes, desire makes paupers of kings and patience makes kings of paupers. If she has enough patience and knows these rules, she might end up running things, and that's not why I wrote this book. This book is literally for your eyes only. There may be a small group of people in this room, but they already understand what's in here. I've condensed this in this book. This is for you. Take a look at all them people out there. Yeah? He slapped you across the back of the heads. This ain't for them. Did you hear me, boy? This is not for them. This is for you. Don't tell them any of this. This is not a mass market product. So that's what it always was. Being able to utilize these things. And what was the Prince about? What did Machiavelli tell him? We really want to avoid armed conflict when we can.
Yeah.
And you want to be a good fighter, we get it, but that's not actually the optimal way of dealing with things. It's much better to dominate people mentally and avoid a physical fight altogether, because once things get physical, you stand a chance of getting killed, and people tend to hold a grudge when you win a war. So we really prefer to avoid it. Now, that don't mean we ain't gonna get down, but that's the last resort. You don't resort to war, and physical conflict is how you resolve every issue. That's the last resort. Because it's going to be the one with the most consequences. That's the last one. You need somebody to teach you that. Because the average person, okay, if socking them in the eye wins, we're going to start with socking them in the eye. Machiavelli said, no, don't do that. What do you teach them? Don't grab your men. The folk who work for you, don't grab their women. Don't grab their women, don't grab their children. They're going to hold a grudge about that. They will forgive you for anything else until you grab their women and their children. Now they're going to hold a grudge. So you can raise taxes. You might be able to grab some land. Don't mess with their women and their children. These other folk out here are going to abuse their privileges. They're going to abuse their privileges. Remember the movie Braveheart. Don't do like him. The only thing that's going to result in is people uprising against you. A smart prince don't do this. Well, you didn't tell the people any of this. You see, by me saying this to you, you recognize these tactics he was using. It's like, hey, he never did that. Yeah, but he dominated you just as much.
Right.
But he never told you that's what it was. So since he never told you what it was, you don't really have your arms around that this is a conscious effort against you. And I'm just saying those were from the annals of power of things that were not widespread to people. Now we got it widespread. Now you can just see what it is. We can actually show you that, by the way, for the last few hundred years, that has been standard operating procedure from the aristocracy to the people who run things to the magnates of industry that's always had their aristocracy. So once we opened up capitalism, what's the first thing that the quote capitalists wanted to do, not just in Europe, but also in America? Get mobbed up with the aristocracy and the monarchy. You and me don't give a damn about the king or queen or nothing. But all of your damn rich folk in America, all of them done met with them folk. Everywhere you go, whoever is the king, the boss in Monaco or whatever to this day, they mobbed up with them. That's always been a consistent priority. Well, why is that? Because those folk understand. They're all on the same page. You're the lords of that nation, and we're the lords of this industry.
Right.
So you see, we have that in common. Our competitors are not our enemies. By that I mean our peers are not our enemies. The people are our enemies. I'm not here to fight with you, and you're not here to fight with me. You and me need to be neutralizing the people, not each other.
Exactly.
And that is what they've been doing ever since. So when you go to the Deep South, it doesn't matter where the plantation is. The folks who own the plantations are all of the same mind. They don't have to meet each other. They're all of the same mind. Did I just show you another reliable response? So Jason, 720 degrees of analysis where Brother Neely Fuller said, white supremacy takes both sides of an argument. Yes, we need a reliable response from both sides. From the dominated and the dominator. We can't keep this thing going if you don't understand how to dominate them. This thing will collapse. It's going to be too fragile. So I can't depend on you to maintain this thing if you don't understand how to dominate them. And it has to be nonverbal. We can't sit here and just have you run down the list of things because documentation is our enemy. But when you meet somebody who's in the same boat, y'all two need to recognize real. That's what we need. Real gotta recognize real. If y'all have to do a bunch of talking, you're gonna start fighting. So when y'all show up, real gotta recognize real. Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk have been bitter rivals now for years. But here's the problem. That's white supremacy 101. Jeff Bezos is not upset with Elon Musk because Elon Musk, is white supremacist and discriminatory and doing all this old crazy stuff and stealing your data. Because Jeff Bezos does the same damn thing. Okay, so his grievance with Elon isn't because Elon is immoral or whatever, because Jeff's doing the same damn thing. In many cases, he's doing it way worse. So we know that's not what it is. So what are you two at odds about? Oh, we both want the same thing. Oh, well, I think my way of doing it's better. And Elon's like, no, my way of doing it's better. So they're not arguing over whether there will be dominance or whether there will be white supremacy. Their only real argument is over who's going to execute it. And when you think about it, that's not a great place for you. They're only arguing with each other about which one of them is going to dominate you. And you be a damn fool talking about, well, I think I'll let Jeff do it. What? Elon, he got the bad, but I'll let Jeff dominate me. That'll work.
He's nicer.
Yeah, he serves me cookies. Jeff can dominate. Yeah, the warehouse is 125 degrees, but Jeff bring me cookies sometimes, so we can do that right there. Elon, he just bring me crackers. But Jeff bring me cookies. I gotta go now. Let me get back to work. Let me get some water. Gotta get back to work. Jeff's like, yeah, he's gotta get back to work. Thanks, Rufus. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. That's what you're dealing with there. So they're not arguing over whether what they're doing is wrong or immoral or bestial or exploitative. They're not arguing with each other over that. That's not what their beef is over. Their beef is over who's gonna be in charge. Somebody in the chat room said, well, I told y'all before, it's not white supremacy is a cake. They're not fighting over whether it should be a cake. They're just fighting over who holds the knife. Who gonna cut the slices? That's all they're arguing over. Jeff is fighting with Elon over who gonna get a bigger slice of the white supremacist cake. But they're not arguing over whether there will be a cake. You and me are like, damn this cake. They're both like, no. Matter of fact, we can get a big one. Coming in the morning here. They're bringing the Brinks truck. We got a flatbed bringing in the new cake in the morning. So we're gonna need a real big knife. But that's the only thing they're arguing over. When you realize that that's what's going on, it's like, oh, hell no, this ain't no place for me. Neither one of them is your buddy. And don't think that you're pitting them against each other the way you think it is because you don't understand what their conflict really is. Oh, yeah, and one more thing. When Trump got inaugurated, who was there? Now, talk about awkward. Now, talk about awkward. So Elon and Jeff got to me dance around the damn White House, and there's Mark Zuckerberg's little awkward ass slithering around there. Okay, now if Elon was really running things the way folks say, don't you think? Yes, Donald. I think it would be a bad idea to let Jeff in. He's not a team player, and he's Donald. It would just be bad. It's awkward. You know, we had a very strange Christmas, and yes, no, just everybody. Okay, Mark. I know I wanted to fight Mark. Yes, me and Mark were going to fight in the UFC. Okay, Mark can come, not Jeff. Think about that for a few moments. Elon don't get along with nobody. He wants to bomb Jeff and he wants to punch Mark. Okay, when Trump got inaugurated, who was there? All of them. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is that their so-called conflicts don't mean to them what you think it does. That's not what their beef is really over. It's deep, don't get me wrong, but it's not deep the way you think it is. That's the crazy part right there. So these guys ain't treating nothing like no damn football team like black folk do voting. It's a football team. I don't care if I don't get nothing. They're voting. They're backing the team that promotes them. They got an agenda and they're backing the team for that. While they're teaching you, back to the prince, they've taught their children to run things and they're teaching your children not to expect anything. Mm-hmm. Simply be bad to be part of the process. That's the freedom of being an American for you and yours. You're part of the process. And don't worry, we'll send him rolling the bowling ball down here after we done paid him a few shekels to tell you all that that's the most you should expect too. Mm-hmm. And if we do this long enough, hopefully we have engendered a Pavlovian response, a reliable response, both from the dominated and the dominator. And we'll see how long this runs.
Well, Jason, I'm going to land with this because I'm so appreciative of you for explaining and breaking it down in the 720 degrees analysis, the only way you can do so. I was having a conversation with someone earlier today, and they were basically asking me a question of why don't Angela Rye speak when we're saying the same things, and then she'll come out later and say, why don't Joyless Reed speak up the way we speak up? And then when something happens to them, then everybody in their culture want to run and speak up for them. And I was explaining to them, you got to watch anybody who's been trained to eat whenever they hear the bell. You got to watch anybody who's been trained to speak whenever they hear that dog whistle from the legacy media. Because if you're waiting on them to say anything for us, you're going to lose every single time. But guess what? Anytime they need them people to speak, all they do is ring that bell. Thank you for having me up, Jason. You have a very blessed day.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Like I say, for the folks they've directly bought and paid off, they're already paid for, man. And here's the crazy part about it. When her damn number came up, what could she do? Auntie, chill! By the way, hey, Joy Reid, what you got to show for all that ass kissing you did? Oh yeah, one more thing. For everybody out there who was disputing me and debating me before about, well, Jason Rowland can hire her. By the way, has Rowland done anything to help Joy Reid?
Nigga, please.
Oh yeah, one more thing. Did I call it or did I call it? Oh yeah, one more thing. Did I call it or did I call it? Has Rowland done anything to help Joy? I showed you where he tried to use it to carve off some audience members for himself. But oh yeah, one more thing. Has he lifted a damn big fat pinky bloated finger to help Joy? Yes, sir. Has he lifted one of those swollen, hot link built fingers to help her?
Who is this?
Asking for a friend? Oh, yes, indeed.
Yeah,
That went exactly the way you thought. Let me tell y'all something, folks. Please understand this. When Melissa Harris Perry got sailed down the damn river, you didn't hear from her again? Stop lying to yourselves. You didn't hear from Melissa Harris Perry again. You didn't hear from Goldie Taylor again. You didn't hear from Tiffany Cross again. You ain't hearing from Angela Rye again. And you won't be hearing from Joy Reid again either.
And deal with it, nigga.
You can just let go of that delusion. You didn't hear from any of the others that they tossed overboard, and you won't be hearing from Joy again either. That's not the way it works. Now, how is it y'all didn't hear from nobody else, and you're sitting around expecting that Joy gonna make a comeback? White supremacy doesn't break its tools, it crushes them. Ain't gonna be no comeback for you. When they say you're done, you're done. You know why? Because there are other folk that may want to work with that corporation, and if they see you running around with her, they gonna let you know, yeah, we ain't gonna fool with you. If we say that her career is dead, her career is dead. Folks, okay, now that we done gotten that subject right there, let's be very, very clear. Let me go ahead and just give you the 720 degrees of analysis you receive absolutely nowhere else. Why in the hell do you think that Drake is fighting for his life right now? Because he's seen the machine do this before. He has seen the machine scuttle careers before when they sit up here and smear your name and take your funding for you and tell folks that you're done and you're over. And anybody who wants to work with you, the machine ain't gonna get behind them. The machine starts sending them messages. Yeah, you know, he's really done and over. And if you do something with him, you're done and over too. He's a has-been, and if you try to link up with him, you're a has-been too. You thought that was just the music business? Hell no. When they send the word down, that's it. When they send the word, that's it. They let everybody know you're untouchable. Don't fool with him. We ain't gonna fool with you. You're done. So in news media, no, they gonna send the word. All right, Joy has been let go. You ain't gonna pick her up again. She done. And if you try to fool with her, you done too. That's the way that goes. When the media was done with Dan Rather, now I'm showing you a white example, but when they really for real done with you, that's it. When Dan Rather was done, that was it. He went to like HD Net for a moment, but that was it. You are out. You're out. What was his name? Was that Rick Sanchez on CNN? When they said he was done, he was done. That was it. Mr. Black 86, I need to get you on Zoom. Tell Mr. Black 86 he's got 2 minutes to be on Zoom. Let's see if this person here will actually stand up for their cause. None of the others have. They've been clowning themselves all night. But when they say you're done, bruh, that's it. So there is no resurrecting Joy Reid. She would need somebody with major pockets and major backing. And no, the machine done got together. They had the little backroom deal, and that's it. CNN ain't gonna touch you. ABC, NBC, they're not going to touch you. They're not going to touch you. Not going to do it.
Light bulb.
You're through, man. That's not me talking. Okay, but here's my real point. Hey, Joy Reid, so how did all that rabbit ass kissing work out for you? Sitting up here accusing us of being Russian bots and self-hating and all this old mess right here. Oh, they hate black women and, oh, because we don't like abortion. Okay, how the hell did that work out for you, Joy? Baby, you had that big bald head, rammed up between their butt cheeks, kissing their asses. Okay, Joy, how'd that work out for you? You didn't see this coming? Think about this for a few moments, folks. Joy Reid didn't see it coming. She didn't know that was going to happen. Joy Reid told herself it was going to be her and Rachel Maddow till the wheels fell off. And the fact that Rachel and all the others are still there, except Alice Wagner. Alice Wagner's already hitting on her way out. But the fact that everybody else is there except Joy. Now, are you telling me Chris Hayes was bigger than Joy Reid? That doesn't make sense from a financial logistical standpoint. Are you saying that Joy was too expensive? Well, if you take a few million off of Rachel Maddow, she was already, you took some off that 30 to 25. If you take that 25 down to 20, obviously letting Joy Reid go wasn't about ratings and it wasn't about money. Very clearly, it wasn't about ratings and it wasn't about how much she was getting paid. It's your time. Your number has come up. And if you had you were going to get cut any damn way. These niggas always try to act like they got a cheat code and that they going to be booed up with. You just don't understand the white establishment. I understand it better. They think they going to get booed up. They think they're eventually going to get booed up. And that they'll be the special Negro and they will be exempt. And they'll get to spend the rest of their lives wagging their fingers at us. Y'all, she didn't see it coming. She didn't know that that's the way the game always ends. She thought she was going to be special and different. And after all of that, they threw her out on the trash pile along with everybody else. She was a loyal soldier who did exactly what they told her to do, and she got shipped off just the same. So the same thing that Melissa Harris Perry got and the same thing Tiffany Cross got was the same thing Joy Reid got. She got the same thing as all of them. But don't worry, it'll be another one. There'll be another one to come up behind her. And don't worry, I know the real way. See, Joy was making trouble behind the scenes. I'm not like Joy. I just keep my head down and keep myself quiet here and just do your job. And it's not going to happen to me like it happened to Joy. No way, not me. Please understand that the next one is already waiting in the wings. They're going to have to wait a minute. They're going to have to wait a minute. They corralled all their Negroes and shoved them all off on one little show down there. So you can't do that. Okay, on Zoom, I've got Darren here on Zoom. Darren, just to make sure we don't have any trolling issues, I just need to make sure you have your camera and your microphone turned on for me here. Just so we don't have any trolling issues. We'll give you a couple of seconds for that, sir, and then we're going to have to go ahead and move on. So, Darren, I can give you a couple of seconds to go ahead and do that. That is not optional here. So, Darren, please make sure you have your camera and microphone turned on. Just make sure you're not trolling. Nobody else is going to see you except for me. So, Darren, you don't have a light on in there. So, I don't know if you're doing your OnlyFans or whatever, but if you're dancing naked in the dark or something, we got to get that fixed. So, go ahead and turn the light on for us here, sir. Nobody else is going to see you except for me. It's just me. Nobody else is going to see you except for me. But yeah, I do need to make sure, just so we don't have any trolling issues, make sure we have that taken care of. So Darren, I can give you a couple more seconds here, and then we're going to have to move on. So I give him a couple more seconds, and then we can get that taken care of. So folks be calling me up and stuff, and they turn off their OnlyFans webcam, and they switch over to me, and it's like, oh, Jason, hold on, I got to put my G-string back on. This, this.
Nigga, please.
Yeah, I be catching them with their G-strings on, and then they're like, "Oh, Jason, you caught me out here." All right, we got Darren here on Zoom. Darren, what's on your mind?
I'm just popping in. I don't even know what the topic is just yet.
Okay, you're just calling in, but you don't know what the topic is.
I just hit the link from YouTube.
Okay, Darren, is this your first time listening to the program?
It's been some years since I've listened to you. It has been some years.
Okay. And how long have you been listening in the night, sir, before you click the Zoom link?
I don't think I've heard you in about 5, maybe 6 years.
Okay. Then you have a lot of catching up to do. So let me go ahead and let you get to that and take the night off, Darren. I don't even know what the topic is. I haven't listened to you in 5, 6 years. Okay, so he fresh out the joint. Some of these fellas be called. Some folk call me up. They fresh out. They on paper and they trying to catch up. Damn, is there anybody else out there I used to know still there? They go on TV. Damn, Love and Hip Hop got canceled. They looking for the newest Joe Budden album. Yeah, they looking for the new Joe Budden album. Yeah, they just got the joint. And damn, Joe Budden got an album. They see him on YouTube and yeah, man, Joe got. Hey, Joe, you ain't making an album. You on YouTube? What it did? Mike Tyson retired. He ain't retired. He fighting this white boy named Jake Paul. He fighting him. Mike Tyson ain't retired. Tyson's still out here. That confused the hell out of him. Oh man, that confused the hell out of him. Yeah, can you imagine? You done got out the joint. Yeah, boy, Tyson was in the ring when you went in. You came back out. Tyson's still fighting. He's like George Foreman. Yeah, we all talking about this. Tyson's still fighting this. Now he's just confused. Who the president is? Trump still president. Damn. I thought I was down for 10 years. I must have been down for 2. Trump's still president. Stuff can be confused. How Trump president and Tyson still in fighting? There's something wrong here. What's going on? Something wrong. They break out their Motorola flip phone. Let me call. Let me see what old girl's doing. Let me see if her number's still up in there. Let me see if she can answer this thing here. What's going on? Looking at the BET Awards, you don't recognize nobody. He looking at the BET Awards and don't recognize anyone. He see a bunch of categories. He like, who is this right here? Who is Soldier Boy, NBA Young Boy, Soldier Boy, Young Boy, all these boys. What is it, LGBT Awards? What is this?